This book is called Knots on a Counting Rope. It's written by Bill Martin Jr. The pictures were drawn by Joe Smith. Bill Martin Jr. did 2 versions of this book in his lifetime. The second one came 30 years later, and Mr. Martin worked with a different illustrator. This story is his 1966 text. In his lifetime, Bill Martin Jr. did more than 300 books for young readers. He's a very well-loved American author and publisher of children's picture books. When he died, he took all of his materials and he donated them to Texas A&M University, which has a branch at Commerce, Texas. The library there is the Bill Martin Jr. Library. When he illustrated this version of Knots on a Counting Rope, Joe Smith was an emerging artist who had taught at a variety of universities. He himself went to Penn State University, but he did work for young learners in picture books like this one, and he also did illustrations for books for grown-ups, and he did his own paintings that were exhibited in galleries across North America. Grandfather, tell me the story again. Tell me who I am. I have told you many times, boy. Oh, but tell me again, Grandfather. Tell me about my name. You know your name, boy. You know the story by heart. Oh, but it sounds better when you tell it. Please tell it over and over, Grandfather. I like to hear you say my name. Then listen carefully, boy. This may be the last time for telling the story. The counting rope is almost filled with knots. This cannot be the last time, Grandfather. Promise this will not be the last time. I cannot promise you anything, boy. I love you. I love you very much. That is better than a promise. And I love you, Grandfather. Tell me the story again, please. Once there was a boy child. That was I, wasn't it, Grandfather? Yes, you were the boy child in the story. And I was very strong, wasn't I, Grandfather? No, you were not strong, boy. You were very little and very sick. We thought you were going to die. But you knew I wouldn't die, Grandfather. Tell me that part again. One day, when you were very sick and your breath was too weak for crying, 2 great blue horses came galloping by. Suddenly they turned and looked at you, and you reached up your arms to them. And what did you say, Grandfather? I said, see how the horses speak to him? They are his brothers from beyond the dark mountain. This boy child will not die. The blue horses have given him strength to live. And that is when you named me, isn't it? Yes, we named you Boy Strength of Blue Horses. It is a strong name. Did I need a strong name, Grandfather? All children need strong names to grow strong. Did I grow strong, Grandfather? Yes, boy, you grew strong, and you are becoming stronger every day. Someday, you will be strong enough to cross over beyond the dark mountains. How strong must I be, Grandfather? Tell me that part again. You must become so strong, boy, that you will not speak with anger even when your heart is filled with anger. And that is not all, Grandfather. Tell me the next part. You must become so strong, boy, that you want to know what other people are thinking, even when you are listening to your own thoughts. Now tell me the last part, Grandfather. You must become so strong, boy, that you will stop to think of what happened yesterday and what will happen tomorrow. in deciding what you want to do today. Is it hard to be strong like you, grandfather? Strong people are not born strong, boy. They become strong by thinking they are strong. They think of themselves as being strong enough to cross over the dark mountains. Will I ever cross over the dark mountains? You have already crossed some of the mountains, boy. The dark mountains have no beginning and no ending. They are all around us. We always are crossing over the dark mountains, especially when we are troubled and afraid. Maybe I will not be strong enough to cross over the dark mountains, grandfather. Oh, yes, you will be, boy. Strength of blue horses. Then you must keep telling me the story, grandfather. You must never stop telling me the story. But I must stop telling you the story, boy, when I have tied the last knot on the counting rope. Now that I have told you the story again, I tie another knot, just as I did before. When the rope is filled with knots, you must begin telling the story to yourself. Then you will truly know that you are strong. The end. This book has been the 1966 version of Knots on a Counting Rope. It was written by Bill Martin Jr. The illustrations were done by Joe Smith.